Welcome to episode 51 on the Riviera Firefly Podcast. Well, I know I'm really lucky to have a day job that allowed my kids to come to work with me. A place where I could express my own creativity through all the ideas that we do here. Where I could connect with the community, with you, and make friends when I first arrived here. Kidderland is an ever-changing place that has pros and cons. It's not the place that I opened almost 12 years ago. In fact, it's our 12th birthday next week. Woo! We have tried and tested many things at Kidderland over the years. As my children have grown, things that I've wanted to do have changed, and so have the things that I personally wanted to get out of here. Also, the feedback from clients has had a great input into where we've taken things. Over time, we've been really making this club, this community, and of course with our new expanded, doubled in size space, we've been able to add new programs, and so the creativity is really beginning to flow now. We've been adding more classes slowly but surely. I'm really thrilled to say that the mum and baby group reached an all-time high the other day. It was such a great vibe going on. So do come along if you've recently arrived in the Côte d'Azur or recently had a baby to the mum and baby group or the toddler groups. And remember that on the 28th of February we have got a morning where we're going to be throwing open the doors so you can come and have a look around the playgroup and the kindergarten, which is open to 2 to 3 year olds and 3 to 5 year olds in 2 separate groups. Well, we've got 1 week left now before the February holidays, and so we're very busy here at Kidderland planning exactly what the kids are going to be doing during the holidays. It's not too late if you are looking for a last minute solution for an 8 to 12 year old. You could think about our fun English camps. We're running those in the Golden Tulip Hotel in Valbonne Sophia Antipolis. It's a great partnership that I've got in place with them. It's a 4-star hotel, and we have access to the inside and outside the tennis courts, the ping pong, etc. And of course the parents can go to the spa, which I've personally tested for you. And actually, if you listen on a little bit later, I'll give you some details of our Kiddo Club and some special deals that we've got for the Golden Tulip Spa. Mention this episode if you'd like a €20 discount on the February holiday stash for your child in the Golden Tulip. We'd be more than happy to give that to you as a little gift. Everything in Vallauris is pretty much full now, and we're taking bookings for April and the summer, and Adolan too. I have a vision for Kidderland to make it a club, a hub, a place where you can come and meet new friends, where you discover new activities, where we can go on outings and really bring the community back from the online world into reality. I know I'm doing this in an online world with you, and that maybe sounds a bit strange, and I think that the online world has got a place, but I think that we need to come back to reality. We have to disconnect from our screens and from our earbuds and get to know each other and spend time with each other and really live the dream of being here on the Côte d'Azur. So, with that in mind, I have set up a tiny group called Culture Club Riviera. There's about 30 of us in there so far. What I'm going to be doing is sharing pop-up one-off workshops. So there's not going to be any joining fee at this point for the founding members. You can just join whatever it is that you fancy doing, be it a singing class, being it a sports, Pilates, maybe it's a visit to a great museum but with friends on a guided tour. Perhaps it's going to be flower arranging or learning how to decorate a cake. We have even got ideas for Pilates on paddleboards from Amanda, who's a person that I met years ago through the theatre troupe that I set up, Flame Performing Arts, with some friends, and our kids were in that programme. And then we lost contact for a little while, and then she joined me on a mastermind that I set up about 14 months ago, and it's going great guns. And Amanda, who joined that group, had only started her business a little bit before that. But since then, every month when we meet up, you can see that she's taking brave step after brave step, this podcast being one of them. Go and have a look at Culture Club Riviera. Go and like her comment about the stand-up paddle meets Pilates for this summer. Hopefully we'll get to meet you soon at one of the pop-up events. because it would really be nice to get this community getting even stronger in 2019. Well, for me, Amanda is a really gentle person with a huge sunny personality. She always has a smile and a laugh. You can tell that she's a dancer just from the way she moves and grooves. She's so graceful. I really noticed this at the end of a session of Pilates, which she does here for us at Kidduland on Friday mornings, when she's doing the stretches and how her arms move and how the hands go finish, you can tell I've watched them Strictly Right. She's also tenacious, setting up in the business world, in the fitness world, trying to find your niche in what is a very crowded market, and then having to do all the juggling that working for yourself involves. So the paperwork, the marketing, the advertising, the inscriptions, the pricing, managing customer expectations, dealing with customer problems. I always liken life at the top to that magic trick, where the guy has got plates on top of sticks and he has to keep them all spinning and he runs up and down the line twiddling the sticks. Well, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's a magic trick per se, I don't know if they've glued them up onto those sticks, but in real life they are not glued on. So it's very varied, but it can also be a real pain when one or many of those plates smashes down. Amanda didn't really want to do this podcast. I hope you don't mind me telling them that, Amanda. She didn't even want to do a video, but we got her to do that today when we were after our Pilates class. And yet, now it's done, she will be feeling that achievement, and she has got a tick in her goals that she's been setting because she knew that she needed more visibility and she needed to get her message out there. So why did I encourage her to do these things? Why was I pushing her out of her comfort zone? Well, it's so difficult to get your message out there. For us down here on the Côte d'Azur, there used to be a site called Anglo Info. In fact, I can remember when I launched Kidduland, I placed an advert on Anglo Info and the phone started ringing right away. That was the power of the website back then. But there is nothing really like that down here anymore. It was the lifeblood of small businesses back then and for many, many years. And it was kind of replaced or forced out of the market by Facebook and social media and other little things that happened along the way. Anyway, Anglo Info is no more. And that is a real problem for us regular business owners because we don't necessarily want to be on social media. I certainly am just like Amanda. I don't want to be in front of a video camera. And yet, we are being told by all the marketeers, by Facebook, by Instagram, by YouTube, that video is where you've got to be. 10 years ago, there were local English-speaking magazines. They don't exist anymore. So what does the local business person do when they want to get known? You set your business up and you're going to have bills, maybe from the get-go. You've got mortgages that you want to pay, and we have to get in front of the right clients. How do we do that? Unless we've got really deep pockets, we can't afford the mainstream radio adverts or the big high-end press. And that's why people are coming to me. And they are coming to me now. I'm not always having to go to them. This is a free podcast to them. All they have to do is turn up and give an hour of their time to recording an interview with me. Because I've got my own bricks and mortar business, Kidduland, I can sponsor this podcast, and Kidduland therefore pays for all the costs associated with this podcast, of which there are many. So hosting the websites, organising the blogs, getting things into iTunes, editing, my time. It's quite a long list. So I've got a question for you. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you like having the range of small international businesses that we have here on the Côte d'Azur? Do you like to support local? Having things like Pilates and yoga in English and of course in French. Having craft chocolate makers with provenance, having independent food stores, personalised gift makers. This area in the Côte d'Azur is just so alive and so rich with restaurants and hotels and Airbnb, medical professionals that you can see in your mother tongue. We need that community. So can you see where I'm going with this? It's one of the reasons that the Côte d'Azur is so special. Other than the sun and the scenery, it's the community that we are fortunate enough to have here. An expat world, whether you're fully immersed and submerged into it or whether you just dip your toe occasionally, is an incredible thing to have actually, and it's very tight-knit, and we have a duty of care really to help and sustain the local communities, and we have to do that by supporting them. Word of mouth. commenting on their posts on social media will give them thousands of more views in terms of visibility across the social media networks. A like is not enough anymore. It has to be a comment. You have to engage. If you know of a local international business, an auto entrepreneur, tell them about joining a private Facebook group. It's called the Firefly Cocoon, and I'll put the link in the show notes. It's a little hub of solo entrepreneurs. It's 200 to 300 members in there, and it's our own little business community. And I'm going to put together some little events for us to learn, support and grow and scale our businesses moving forward over the next couple of years. And an immediate bonus of being part of my group is that you're a registered member and it's free, and then you'll be able to advertise your business or your charity or your blog in a bigger group that I run called Côte d'Azur Living. This year we're going to be allowing that to happen on the last Wednesday of the month, and this is reserved just for people that have registered with me in the Firefly Cocoon. And you can also become a preferred partner of my members here at Kidderland. So I've got over 170 member families who come each week to us for our weekly activities. And we have even more that come in the holidays, and they all get their Kiddu Club membership number. And then they get great deals from local companies. So at the moment they've got a deal with Nautilus, with local beauticians, and with the Golden Tulip Spa Hotel. So they can go and get great deals on the spas. Contact me and I'll put you in contact with my partnership gal who will set up the deal, and then you can get in front of all my families here at Kidderland offering your deal. So there you go, that's 2 little gifts that I'm giving to you if you run a business, or if you know someone that runs a business, please forward them this podcast so that they can benefit from it. Share the love, help Amanda today feel like the rock star, and share the everything out of this episode. It's hard getting your business off the ground, and this is your moment to pay it forward. Spread the word about these amazing businesses that we have here that make the Côte d'Azur such a special place. They will be hugely grateful. Okay, let's roll.
Having successfully launched 3 businesses, bilingual mum to 2 and entrepreneur Antonia Beauvoisin-Brown has connected with thousands of people, both French and international, since moving to the French Riviera. These connections allow her to speak to successful local businesses and inspirational people about life here on the Côte d'Azur and share it with you. Welcome to the Riviera Firefly Podcast with your host, entrepreneur and my mum, Antonia Beauvoisin-Brown.
Welcome to the Riviera Firefly Podcast, episode 51, to Amanda Renard.
Thank you.
Amanda, give us the name of your company.
It's Be Inspired Pilates.
Be Inspired Pilates, which I know very well now, right? I've been a regular, apart from this morning, every Friday since September. And it's been fantastic. And even you've been adding a little twist into it, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Tell me about how you came to the Côte d'Azur, how you came to being here.
Okay, well, I've been here for 8 years. I originally came with my husband, who was offered a job here in the yachting industry. We had a week initially to give an answer to that job. So we came for a weekend, flew home, thought about it, and decided by that Friday that yes, this would indeed be a good place to come and give it a go. So
been
still
here ever
since.
Yes. So you're based where on the Côte d'Azur?
So we live in Paul de Vence.
And you've stayed there that whole...
And we have stayed there.
That is a beautiful town, isn't it?
It's such a beautiful village. Very popular in the summer. We don't live actually in the walled village, so we can escape the tourist buses when we want to.
And I was just there a couple of months ago. I hadn't been there for many years actually, and the wealth of culture and art that is just, you sort of turn a corner and there's a statue, but by really famous people.
Indeed.
You know, there's sort of Picassos and there's just things everywhere you turn.
And it often changes, so you can go back a few months later and you're going to see something else.
Yeah, it's definitely anyone listening who's thinking about visiting, you have to make sure you... Sorry, Amanda, they're all going to come to your village, but it is a great place to go and really good to go out of the key season actually.
Definitely, if you can avoid those key summer months, then you enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, and I know I've seen some famous celebrities as you go around St Paul as well. It's
you do
definitely
a
great place to go and visit, and just the art that's there, the art galleries that are there. Top place. I can see why you've stayed. Tell me a little bit about your background. What did you do before coming to France? What were you into? Was it Pilates back then, or is this a sort of second career later on?
definitely second or third career, I would say. I started out as a professional dancer, and I'm a certified dance teacher. After a few years of travelling in Europe and working in the UK, I then trained to become a fitness instructor. After I had that qualification working in London, I went to work on the cruise ships, and that's where I met my husband. So I taught all sorts of fitness on the ships, weight training, cardio, walk a mile, just getting the passengers moving while they were cruising. And then we got married, had kids. I still did a little bit of fitness in that time, but then I was looking for something that was a little bit more flexible and I could fit in around the kids, and I retrained to become a beauty therapist. So I'm qualified to do massage, facials, manicures, pedicures. I've recently done a course in threading, so that's another little skill I hold. And then when we moved here, I continued a little bit with the beauty therapy, which was fine, but it just wasn't my passion. I do love doing it one-to-one with people. Have been doing Pilates in the UK, but didn't find a class when I first came. I did Zumba and ballet and a few different things, and then it took a while and someone dragged me along to a Pilates class she'd found, and I did it for a few months, and then it dawned on me that that was my thing that I love most, and I could train and start teaching, which is what I did.
That's a beautiful story. It's and what we'll, just for the Riviera Fireflies that are listening in, is you and we really got to know each other about 14 months ago when I set up a one-off, I think it was to start with, come and join a mastermind cocoon. We're going to get ready for 2018, it would have been then.
Yes.
And actually we all enjoyed each other's company enough to sort of say, let's carry this on, and we've been meeting every month. So I've been really getting to know your business, but I did not know that you were on cruise ships, and I did not know that you did threading. So that's two very interesting pieces of information, because someone else on my team was on the cruise ships. Yeah, Sean, who's our dance teacher. And
I knew she was a dancer as well. I didn't know she had been on the cruise ship.
Yeah, so you will have to check in with her on that. What an amazing experience to have travelled the world.
It was amazing.
See everything, but I can see why people then switch to land for the stability and stuff.
Indeed.
So we've actually been getting to know each other, and I've been hearing how your business has developed and grown, and it's been great to watch, actually, the transformation and where you brought it from. So talk me through the early days. So you had this idea of Pilates.
Yes, and I had this one contact of somebody here who I know is a Pilates trainer. So I had a chat with her and signed up for the course, which was a big step for me because, one, it was all in French, and I knew it was going to be with a lot of younger people. So I did that. That was in 2016. I did the training in Aix-en-Provence over a number of months.
It's a huge way to build up your confidence in French, though, to follow a training course in French.
Yeah.
I was talking to Robert Levitt in 2 episodes ago, episode 49. He came here from America with no French, went and learnt Provençal, and then also did a history, masters or doctorate and things like that in French.
Incredible.
Yeah. But then his French now is just amazing. It's the best way to learn, actually.
I learned all the muscles of the body in French, which was a challenge. And actually that was a challenge, doing the exam. I hadn't done a lot of study, but it's really intensive study to actually pass the exam. I was allowed to sit the exam in English, which helped. But I worked my socks off for that, and I was really proud to get that certificate.
Yeah, and that'll really help if you decide to do nationality as part of Brexit later on, because you'll have the level that you need. So, okay, so you've got your certificates in your back pocket. What were the next steps?
So I found a location, a studio that I could rent by the hour. Told a few friends that's what I was going to do, and encouraged them to come along, and started in January 2017 with just 1 or 2 people coming to my class, and gradually, word of mouth. It took a good few months, actually. I was once turned up and had nobody and thought, what am I doing? But after a few months, honestly, it just kept growing. And it's still an ongoing process. Some classes I still need to, get a few more people in, but it's really, really picked up, taken off. And
it's difficult, isn't it, when you start something out, getting that word out there. And we were talking about this the other day, is we don't use our own personal networks because we don't want to keep going to our friends, yeah, I'm doing Pilates, can you tell your friends? But actually, our friends are really proud of us.
Yeah.
And they would really help share that message. It's actually also quite good, I think, sometimes to start things off small.
Absolutely.
Because you sort of, oh, that might not have worked, I need to tweak that. What have you?
Yes.
What I will say, I've been not doing fitness for years, right, okay, because I've just been working or at home with a family and there wasn't much time left for me. So as I got to know you and listened to you in our cocoon masterminds, I was like, you know, the seed was there and you kept sort of gently watering it. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a go. And so we decided to run them here on Fridays at Kidderland, because then I couldn't get out of not going, because it then could fit into my weekly routine. What I noticed in the sessions, though, is with us in our 40s and 50s, all the little gripes that we have, you know, it'll be a twinge here and my knee there, and how you're able to adapt that and personalise each session to each person, you don't get that everywhere. For sure, you don't. In all the classes that you've seen, particularly in the mainstream classes, where you might be one of 30 or something in a class, there's no way they can give you that attention.
No, and that's a really important part of true Pilates class. Normally you wouldn't have more than 8 people, so that everybody gets some individual attention, corrections. We add props and different things for people with neck injuries, and we can really work around the body in front of me. And I hear about people doing Pilates in big clubs, 30 to a room, and I'm like, oh, that's not really what I call Pilates. That's a big group exercise class, and you just can't get around to everybody to really help them and get the most out of the class. So
absolutely, and I think that is one of your key things. Is not only that you're friendly and it's a nice friendly class, you don't feel overwhelmed when you go. I just feel I'm in safe hands and that you're watching everything, but also you're pushing us. It's not that you're sort of saying, you know, okay, you're not going to be doing anything. It's like, okay, I know you've got a neck niggle, so here's a ball or whatever, and you're going to adapt this exercise that way.
And I love being able to tailor each exercise for the body in front of me, because everybody's got, you know, different issues normally, knee, foot, whatever. But in Pilates, there's so many modifications for the exercises that you can find a way for each exercise to really target the correct muscles for that person.
And I think it's interesting. So it's so simple, and I think I posted your video of the back of your car, the boot of your car with the kit. But it's super simple kit. You can get a mat. It's worth getting a mat from Decathlon or wherever. There are other mat places available. The ball or the band. You can carry on doing things at home, and the difference in your core and your body is incredible in a short space of time, actually.
Absolutely, and if you get one of the flex bands or TheraBand, whatever you like to call them, they cost hardly anything, but even if you're travelling, they take up no room in your bag. I often take one with me because there's so much. There's a lot of strength exercises you can do with the band. And if you've got a Pilates mat, which generally a bit thicker than yoga mats, just because if you're rolling through your spine and just need a little bit more padding normally for Pilates, you're set to go.
Absolutely. No, and I think, so having those, I've got my mat, and you bring along the balls and the stretch bands, although we've got some stretch bands at home. So it's something
circles as well. They're great for
those little driving wheels. They do look like little bits of torture, but not as bad as I've seen some Pilates studios. The kit on, that is fixed to the wall.
Machines.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's
a whole other level.
Apparatus. That is a different style of Pilates. Joseph Pilates devised all the exercises. He developed most of those machines himself. And I only teach mat work because I then can travel around and I'm flexible in how I work. I don't have my own studio at the moment, but the machines, the reformers, that's another style of Pilates, which again, great all over body work.
But you haven't just stuck to Pilates, and so this week I did do some, even though it wasn't today, because you were funking it up for us with a bit of bar. So explain to people that maybe haven't heard of that what that is.
Yeah, okay, so I actually teach total bar, which is very similar to extend bar. It's very similar. So I teach a bar class. It's to music, I normally teach Pilates with no music, so it's a more mindful exercise, but it's really fun to work out with music. People really love it. We use a bar, Lots of pliés squats, so really targeting the thighs, bottoms, lower body. And I do a fusion type class, so maybe 30, 40 minutes on the bar, and then we go down and do some mat work, because I trialled it to begin with, the whole hour of bar work, and the feedback I got was people love it, but you can't really target the core muscles as much standing up. So then we go down onto the floor, use the mats, and really getting some good Pilates core strength work for the last 15, 20 minutes.
And it is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to doing a bit more of that.
Right.
It was really good fun. And your word for the year was what?
Variety.
So that's ticking that box right away. What challenges have you had to overcome? So you mentioned about filling classes, getting the word out, marketing. That is harder these days, isn't it? We haven't got the same hard print newspapers to advertise, and magazines. Lots of the magazines that used to be here when you first arrived don't exist anymore. It's all online.
That's true. So actually the social media, the marketing has been a big challenge for me, because I just wasn't used to doing any of that before. So just kind of keep putting myself out there, making myself do it, and coming along to your mastermind business meetings just kept inspiring me and kept kind of pushing me to keep doing it. And it does work. I had to start a website, never done that before. I had someone come along to a class yesterday who'd found me from the web, so that's brilliant. That's working.
High five.
I know. And just like encouraging people to do, occasionally do a special offer, encouraging people to bring somebody along, let them come and try the class. But I have to say, it's been mainly word of mouth, but I know I need to keep pushing.
You are tagged a lot on Facebook as well. That means that your clients really are enjoying it, because you're getting tagged a lot, which is great. Chapeau, as they say. So what's your place to visit on the Côte d'Azur? If you're not doing Pilates and you're not in St. Paul enjoying the culture in your back garden, where would you be going to?
Well, I love the sea and the coastal walks, so the capdantibes walk and the Saint Jean capferrat. I think that's my favourite walk. Beautiful day like yesterday afternoon. I wish I should have gone down there, actually. I could have done. Just getting outside, fresh air, sun, sea, and exercise.
And how are you going to sort of bring all that together for 2019? What are you going to be doing in 2019?
Well, hoping to add in some more bar classes. That's proven really popular. It is a really fast-growing exercise trend at the moment, so I'm hoping I can get some more of those going. I'm in the final stages of discussions with a Pilates studio in Antibes to do some Pilates cover teaching for them starting from March onwards. So I'll be putting out more details of that when that's all finalised, but that's really exciting, because I'll be getting down to Antibes a little bit more, which is a beautiful seaside town as well, and just meeting some new people there. And
what about your beauty work? Are you carrying that on?
I do very little beauty work. That is a possibility that, depending on my time, could throw in a little bit more of that. I have a few regular clients. One of them absolutely refused to let me stop doing her nails when I was about to give it all in. So it's nice, because I just keep it all going with a few friends and close people. So if I want to pick it up again in the future,
it keeps your variety box ticked as well,
indeed.
doesn't it? What about sort of customs and traditions? What have you found very different from England? You were talking about your son earlier and the difference. He's back in the UK. So he's been able to compare now, France back to the UK. What kind of things for you have been different, and for people thinking about moving here?
Well, I guess the outdoors lifestyle here, more or less we can have lunch outside most of the year. I mean, we've had a little cold spell, but that's huge, actually, just being outside in the sunshine.
And we've had the best winter there, haven't we?
It's been beautiful. So that's a huge plus. I love the food here. When I go back to the UK, I mean, we have some good, proper food, but when I look at the menus here and the variety and the fish and the healthier options, I really do see a difference in a lot of the menus coming back and forwards. So that's another one. I think all the kids growing up here really benefit from the international setting. I think they just keep more open-minded, more willing to travel and try new things probably. I think they seem to grow up quicker. They're all kind of outside doing a lot more activities.
Yeah, it's a great experience being here because it is so international. Even if your kids are in the French schools and not in international schools, there's so many internationals living here that they're constantly in contact, which is opening their mind to the whole world, which we need right now, right?
Absolutely.
When Trump's building his wall and what have you, no offence to Trump, but it is putting up barriers, and Brexit. So are you more of a sea beach person or a mountain person? I know you do skiing too, don't you?
Yeah, so that's a hard one. And we love sailing as a family. And as a family, we love skiing, but me probably the least. It's more of an effort. I'm just, as I got older, a little bit more fearful on the snow. Having had a little knee injury from skiing, it just makes me a little bit more cautious. And
particularly when Pilates is your day job.
It's my life, so we did go this year and we had a great family time, but
I was thinking about doing that racket thing. I haven't done that yet.
I haven't, and that is on my list to do.
Oh, I have to. Maybe I have to get a mastermind cocoon up there and do it up in the mountains one time.
It's great exercise and less risk of injury.
Yeah, totally. So how did you meet people when you got here? How did you get to know other people?
School gates, joined a few different exercise groups, they were French speaking, so that was also hard and challenging, but that was a great way to just get the French going in the beginning as well. So that Zumba class and ballet I could follow, of course, and having dance background, that helped. But I would say just getting out there, join a group. I played tennis, I joined a tennis club. So I think actually, joining a group, exercise or whatever you love.
And it helps you to get to know the locals as well, doing something like that, which is important to not always be off in the expat groups as well. Yeah. Maybe to try and find that balance between the two is a good one. Give us the information on how people can get in touch with you.
Okay, so my website will be on this site afterwards, but it is beinspiredpilates.com. That's BIN inspired Pilates.com. From there you can see the links to my Facebook and Instagram page.
And I'll put that in the show notes, like you say. Now, for people that don't know what show notes are, if you're listening to this on a podcast app and you click on the image, on the artwork, and scroll down a little bit, you'll see all the details on where you're doing your courses and your classes and how to get in contact with you. Are you on Instagram and things like that?
I am on Instagram.
Yay!
Yes.
Is that kind of where you like to hang out more, or are you more on Facebook?
I'm generally more on Facebook. I tend to sometimes link posts, but naturally I go to Facebook first and then think, I should have a little look at Instagram.
So people basically should get in touch with you via your website and maybe have a call with you and decide which of your classes is the best one to come to, and to go in and enjoy your total bar courses.
Yes.
End us up with a little inspirational quote for 2019.
Okay, well, I was just thinking about this morning, and just really my story over the last few years doing the training, starting a business, putting myself out there. I would have to say you just need to, if you feel the fear, you just need to get out there and do it anyway.
That's a good one. That's one that you've been living, because we keep setting you challenges.
You even made me sing in public.
That is so true. We did that last year, didn't we? You, me, Lee, Faye, we had a little group for about 6 months. We were singing with Vonnie Marshall Edwards. It was good for the confidence. Actually.
Absolutely. So, it's just good to put yourself out there and challenge.
And try new
it's
things.
Good to have a challenge, isn't it? Just try something new.
Which is what I've been doing with your Pilates. So I will see you next Friday for Pilates. And until then, have a very great weekend. Thank you for joining the Firefly Podcast.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
The Riviera Firefly Podcast appreciates every contributor and listener. Your comments, likes and shares make us really happy and inspire us to keep doing the shows. Come join us in our free community groups on Facebook, Côte d'Azur Living, for all things south of France. And for those running a business, you need to join the Riviera Firefly Business Cocoon. It's totally free. The costs of producing and hosting this podcast are funded by Kiddyland. Nicknamed by their clients the Little English School, they organise fun activities all in English for 0 to 16-year-olds, from baby clubs and playgroups to English lessons and holiday camps. They even hold workshops for adults too, right here on the Côte d'Azur. You can find out more about Kiddyland directly on their website www.kiddyland.com. So thanks for listening. Please do pay it forward and share an episode so we can spread the cut as your love. Until next time, Fireflies, au revoir!